Hello, hello, hello. We are so excited to share with you our knowledge and experience of working in and through trusts for the last 20 plus years. In about 15 minutes, we're going to share the basics of being a trustee of a trust. But don't worry if you don't catch everything. It took me years to fully grasp it all. Because we are not lawyers or CPAs, we cannot give legal or financial advice, and we encourage you to research everything we present here today. Experience really is the best teacher. Our story begins with Jerry's grandfather. When he passed, everyone found out who we thought was a man of average means was actually a wealthy man because he operated in and through trusts. Not even his own son knew this, and it was a completely new concept or way of thinking to us. So Jerry went to a school of law in the 90s to study all the different types of trusts. And what he found was everyone had an opinion on what is best. The CPAs, the IRS, and of course the attorneys. But what Jerry found was pure gold for us personally. What shocked us was that trusts are not just for the super wealthy, but for everyone willing to understand what has been right in front of us the whole time, but never passed down from our parents or grandparents or even taught to us in school. Back then, we used to think trusts were for the spoiled rich children only in the movies. Trusts have many advantages, and here are just a few. Keeping more money in your pocket? Who doesn't want a pay raise, right? Protecting property, assets that you've earned? But best of all, investing in peace of mind. Because number one, you avoid probate entirely, saving all legal court costs and all the other fees associated with that. No death taxes, because the trust doesn't die. I still don't understand why the government thinks they're owed anything because of a death, but they do. When a trustee passes away, the trust continues. Best of all, no family fighting, because all of your wishes are bound in trust. Heirs cannot change, challenge, or even contest wishes upon a trustee's passing. This is so what our Creator God always intended. Here is what we feel is the ultimate in estate planning. This is a long, big name, but it specifies the type of trust or designation we're talking about, and it's the gold Jerry discovered. No matter the name or designation of a trust, there really are only two types of trusts: revocable and irrevocable. Revocable are the most common type attorneys develop for people. They actually are just an extension of you personally because they use your social security number, and everything in trust is still you, personally owning it, and so you can revoke it at any time. The only benefit of this type of trust is it does avoid probate. But the disadvantages are far outweighed because they don't give any of the other advantages of an irrevocable trust, like assets protected, a pay raise, peace of mind, which is why the irrevocable trust is so powerful. In short, any trust, in the most basic sense, is a legal agreement that holds property in trust to benefit another. It is a binding contractual agreement, just like an LLC or a corporation. For simplicity today, I hope you understand that we're just going to use the word trust. But no, we are talking about this specific type of trust. We initially were introduced to trust from the experience of learning about Jerry's grandpa, and then digging deeper with schooling. But God set this up the whole time. Our Creator God created everything. So in the trust world, we also need a creator. In the trust world, you may hear different terms for the same word creator, like settler or grantor, but we like God's verbiage best, so we call it creator. Who did our Creator put in control of this earth? Us, you, and me are the trustees of the earth. We are in charge of taking care of our environment, our finances, and our families. In the world of trust, this would be the board of trustees. Now, our children and children's children are the beneficiaries of our actions in this world. Just like in Proverbs 13:22, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. In the trust world, it must be specified who will benefit and are called the beneficiaries. God set the way from the very beginning. There's nothing new under the sun, and we are to follow his example in everything we do. He is a good and gracious God to give us the instruction manual, the Bible. Jerry and I are so grateful to be able to share this revelation with as many people as possible. Some of the richest people you may have heard about know and operate in and through trusts. Rockefellers, Trumps, Warren Buffett, the Kennedys. Nelson Rockefeller even stated publicly, own nothing but control everything. Basically, what he meant was what you don't own can't be taken from you. This is the fundamental rule of asset protection and why you want to be a trustee of an irrevocable trust. Speaking of the Kennedys, in 1969, a very famous incident proved the power of trust to the public. Ted Kennedy, being careless, drove his car off a bridge and his passenger died. The story goes that the family of the girl sued Ted Kennedy, and all they received was the insurance money and the totaled car. Why? Because Ted owned nothing. Everything was in trust. The car was in its own trust. Therefore, the only thing the courts could award the family was the totaled car. Ted Kennedy owned nothing personally for them to take. We don't condone what he did, but want to show a real-life example of the protection of assets a trust gives, and why not to put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Wow, it was an aha moment for us. God set it up this way, and then we see the rich do it. Jer and I have continuously prayed for wisdom in our lives about many things, including financial things, family relationship, etc. And all we need to do is take a page from his book and apply it directly to how we live. Here we show a simple representation of a trust. At the top is the Creator. But unlike our Creator God, in the trust world, they must fund the trust and walk away. They no longer can have control of the asset that was used to fund the trust. We recommend an ounce of silver to fund the trust. Trustees or board of trustees hold all the power of the trust and control all the operations. Most likely, that would be you. As trustees, you can exchange or add unto corpus of the trust anything you want. Beneficiaries are what we say are holders of beneficial interest. Just like owning shares of or stocks in a company, they are units of beneficial interest. We use a total of 200 units to be divided however you see fit. I want to quickly review some of the key benefits of being a trustee of a trust. Transferring or exchanging assets in a trust is private, safe, and absolutely confidential. There is no public record except for the deed transfer on real estate. You hurt someone, everything owned personally is in jeopardy, and the number one enemy to what you own is litigation. Take, for example, your car. If you own your car personally, it's titled in your name, right? If you accidentally hit a school bus full of children, the parents and their lawyers are going to see what assets can be seized and handed over to them. When they find that you personally don't own anything, it won't be worth suing you. Now, we talked about a pay raise, but in reality, it is what should be in your pockets anyway, because you earned it. We totally believe if you owe a tax, you must pay it. And unlawfully avoiding paying taxes due, you may end up in jail. A trust is taxed completely different than us individuals, and if properly set up, the tax obligation could be way less. A trust files IRS Form 1041, and attaches a one-page schedule. This is why, in 2013, Warren Buffett said publicly that he paid a lower tax rate than his secretary. In short, reducing tax liability, it's a pay raise. Here is where we feel trusts really shine and the investment pays off. Most parents, like us, really appreciate this. Peace of mind. Because there is no family fighting, we have had clients, as well as our own family, torn apart because of fighting after a parent passes. With a trust, when a trustee passes, it is a seamless event because a board of trustees has already been established and wishes have already been described within the trust. So no arguing. So much better than a will. On top of that, there is no hassle of probate, estate, or death taxes. The best part is continuation of the trust and affairs. Here is a simple representation of what we call a trio. It is a structure of 3 separate trusts, and the contracts between each of them is what offers perfect protection. Trust A on the left is what we refer as the main operations trust. This trust will have a bank account and therefore operates somewhat in the public. Expenses and incoming money is from here. Trust C is what we call corpus holdings. It only has a bank account to hold funds and does not do business in the public. It has a contract with Trust A that in times of plenty it will receive unto corpus from A, and in times of need it can give unto corpus to A. Think of it as a balloon. Trust D is a beneficiary trust. This trust is developed first. It designates who the beneficiaries are, whether your children or another trust or business. Trust D is the beneficiary of Trust A and C. If a beneficiary dies, then those units of beneficial interest open up and you replace them. The beautiful thing about Trust D being a standalone trust is that the change only has to be done on Trust D, and all the other trusts will have the changes automatically. This trio is the minimum ideal structure needed for all situations, and it's also our secret sauce, so to speak. We get it. Learning something new can feel daunting, but once you grasp all the perks of being a trustee, you'll be amazed. Smart Asset Consulting is here to guide you through it. If someone referred you here, chat with them about how our services benefited them. Or give us a call today for a free consultation. Let us help you start your journey to becoming a trustee.